One of the hardest things about lockdown was that we were unable to see a lot of the people that we loved in person. And now that things are opening back up, that seems a long time ago. In some ways, it seems like it's been the only way things have ever been. But the challenge has changed slightly for a lot of us. Instead of struggling with the fact that we can't see people, for a lot of us, we're now struggling with the fact that we can see people and that we are having to force ourselves to go out because actually, for a lot of us, we've got out of the habit of seeing people in person regularly. And as we reflect back on live streams and what we've been doing on a Sunday, the calls to prayer each Sunday, one of the things that has been most life-giving about the live streams has been the number of people that have taken part in some way, whether that be sending a message in, whether that be emailing, Menti, sending a photo in, a prayer, a video of some sort. And it's been really lovely to see so many people. And the first time we had a worship video for Easter in 2020, one of the most moving things for me was to see so many familiar faces who I hadn't seen in what seemed like ages and ended up being quite a lot longer for a lot of those faces. But live streams wouldn't have worked in the same way if many of us hadn't known each other to some extent beforehand. The relationships behind the scenes have in some way grown throughout lockdown. And that's been amazing that even with the distance, we've been able to develop those relationships. But on the most part, we wouldn't have had anything to build on had we not known each other in person beforehand. And it reminded me of the message of Christmas, that God also valued that in-person relationship so much so that he sent his son down as a human being to come amongst us on the earth, physically present to people. And having people at our live streams again since they've been able to book in has been amazing. Not least catching up with people afterwards in the car park and chatting to them and actually having that face to face. I had a lot of contact with people over the phone, emails, all that kind of thing, but it's just not quite the same. And although sometimes I have to push myself to go out and to meet someone because actually it's grown harder work because I've got out of the habit, it's actually been fantastic to see people in person. And I think as we go forwards, this is something that we need to recapture. Habits take practice, and for many of us, this last 18 months or so has got us out of a lot of the habits that we took for granted beforehand. And so I wonder if we might think carefully about which habits we take back up and which we don't. Roxburgh, he says, God's dream of renewing and restoring the world has everything, literally everything, to do with the shared life. When we connect the dots between sharing life with God, one another, and the created world, this is reality as God intends it. Live streams have been great for allowing us to share in a different way, and so we're carrying on with them at 8:30. But what habits have we lost that we need to get back into so that we share more of our lives with each other, like Jesus did, offering a countercultural alternative to the individualism and the loneliness that is so present in our society around us?